Video here is about Tucker Carlson and how he received a donation of $15 million from a certain person, and how he received monthly income, and he got it by interviewing the Prince of Qatar, and him buying a house in Qatar, and how he wants to promote Muslims and Islam, and how he thinks that Americans shouldn't be bad-mouthing Muslims, and how they should be welcome here, and how he thinks Sharia Law is not bad. And y'all need to check this out. This tells you the truth about who Tucker Carlson is now, the person who supports radical Islam.
Tucker Carlson's network, the seed money came from a guy named Omid Malik, who's a Pakistani Iranian. He's Pakistani Iranian descent, put up $15 million to start that network. We know that for a fact. It's public knowledge. There was a nonprofit here in the United States that receives its funding from Qatar that pays $180,000 a month, and they paid Tucker to interview the Emir, I believe it was, of Qatar, so on and so forth. So it's unquestionable. We know that there are trips. Tucker's been to Qatar recently. He said it openly. He said it, and we can go through some of those clips if you want. He said it openly at Turning Point.
Is Qatar extreme in their Islam?
So they play both sides very, very well. But here's what we know for certain. They openly, since October 7th, have given hundreds of millions of dollars to Hamas. $350 million for sure, like right after it, they approved to go to Hamas. They have a radical agenda.
USA did a poll during AmFest, or I guess it was after AmFest, and they asked the audience, what they considered to be the greatest threat to America. And they did put radical Islam at number one. I'm wondering where you think those sentiments are coming from. I mean, I've heard you say before that this is an op, and that we all know which foreign government it's actually coming from. Which government is it, and can you explain how that operation works? How is it, kind of lured into those?
From the Israeli government and its many defenders and informal employees in the United States, of course. And I guess I would just say if that was actually, I don't know how people responded to the poll. I don't know who answered it, but I believe in measuring reality a little more empirically, and I don't know anyone in the United States in the last 24 years who's been killed by radical Islam. I know a lot of people who have killed themselves, a lot. I know people have died of drug ODs, more than a few. I know people can't get jobs. None of the boys in my daughter's classes can get jobs. None of those white boys can get jobs. They're being destroyed, by Adderall and video games and porn. Like, I see millions of Americans being destroyed, and none of it is at the hands of radical Islam. Is radical Islam a bigger danger than OnlyFans? It's not even close. Turning some huge percentage of American women into prostitutes? That's not radical Islam doing that, actually. So anyone who believes that lie, I feel sorry for. But it doesn't reflect the lived reality of anyone I've ever met in the United States. And I observe this for a living. It doesn't mean I'm right, but it means I'm not a casual observer. I'm a close observer because that's my job. So many Americans have been told over and over and over, like, your destiny is intertwined with Israel. Israel's our most important ally. There is no sense in which Israel is an important ally. It's not even an ally. It's a liability. By the way, I got the award of apparently anti-Semite of the year 2 days after I gave a speech saying anti-Semitism was immoral. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the people creating the propaganda and disseminating it have zero interest in the reality of any question. If you've convinced them that radical Islam is their number one problem, you are the most effective propagandist in history.
Well, I like it here. A lot. Yeah, I like it.
You have been...
By the way, I'm an American. I can go wherever I want and speak to anyone I want to because I'm a free man. That's the promise of my country. And some are seeking to change that and to put our population into mental bondage, and I'm not participating in that.
I mean, Putin has been the most effective leader in my lifetime. But why is he more evil than Joe Biden? Yeah, well, I can't even conceptualize that.
Why am I required to hate Assad?
Nicolas Maduro and his government in Venezuela, it's one of the very few countries in the entire hemisphere with those policies.
But Americans are afraid of Iran. They see video of Iranians saying death to America.
They don't mean death to the people of the United States or even to the officials.
گروهی که دارید اداره میکنید کشورتون رو مراد اینه. در این دوره اینان.
Sharia law is bad, Seth. I don't know if you've heard that. It's bad. It's worse than what's happening in New York and Detroit. It's just bad.
What was radicalizing, very shocking and very disturbing for me was the city of Moscow. And it is so much nicer than any city in my country.
The wheels don't move, they lock on the grocery cart escalator. Look, Ma, no hands. Look at that. Oh, come on.
It is so much cleaner and safer and prettier aesthetically. It's architecture, it's food, it's service than any country, city in the United States.
I'm not Muslim, I'm not for Sharia law. On the other hand, compared to what? Compared to Baltimore? He's like, you know what Islam means? Submission. I don't think I'm against that.
I have more in common with the sincerely religious Pakistani cab driver. Pakistanis are all super nice to me, and the whites are all kind of craven and sad. I'm not mad at Putin, never have been.
I am. I mean, his soldiers killed friends of mine, colleagues, when I was in Ukraine. So
that friends die in war. They were ordered into war by American leaders.
Is the Taliban drug treatment program, does it produce a higher or lower relapse rate than the American version? And the answer is not just yes, but hell yes. Sharia law.
Well, in
sorry, Sharia law.
It's Tucker Carlson at the Real Estate Future Forum 2025.
I've never been to Saudi Arabia, and I can't wait to go. A glimpse of what the future holds, because that's what you see when you go to the Gulf.
Because it's of its scale, its significance in Islam.
And you can tell when you go to a place like Abu Dhabi or Riyadh, like, oh man, I hope we don't ever wind up with a society like this, with a rape rate of 0, where you leave your keys in your Lamborghini and don't ever worry about it being stolen. And, you know, if people want to get wasted, they do it at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
Boy, I hope we don't wind up with that.
I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar. Both because I am
pay a high check
in Doha, yeah, and I'm doing that because I like the city. I think it's beautiful, but also to make the statement that I'm an American and a free man, and I'll be wherever I want to be.
After watching those combined videos and showing you how the compilation has been showing the last few years of Tucker Carlson supporting Islam, radical Islam, and the Muslims, and how he's obviously being paid by them to promote them in the conservative base, and it's obviously being pushed, and it's being pushed to go against Israel. This cannot be denied. It's quite funny that now Candace Owens, how she's been fighting against Turning Point USA, not because she was so-called Charlie's friend, because she wasn't the last few years, but look how she is trying to push Muslims and radical Islam also. And I'm going to do a video next on her.